next episode.
Hello friends, and welcome back into another episode of Excessive Phraseology. You know me, Waits, Commissioner of the Leisure League, back to recap everything that happened in Week 9. Had some good matchups, had some bad matchups, so let's get right into it. Alright, first I want to talk about the matchup between Captain Flackajoe and In Breeze's We Trust. Captain Flackajoe still sitting at the #1 spot, but took a loss this week to In Breeze's We Trust. In Breeze's We Trust last week took a pretty bad loss to Mikey No-Knees, now of Team Car Ramrod. That's what it is, Car Ramrod. But this week made up for it, came back with a big win against the #1 spot in the league. For the #1 spot, Captain Flackajoe, he had a pretty disappointing week from most of his players. Cam Newton didn't quite meet his projections. The one player that he had that did okay was Calvin Ridley, still putting up good numbers for a rookie. But nothing outstanding, nothing amazing. On the other side of the ball, In Breeze We Trust, Drew Brees, namesake of the team, had a great game. Showed what he can do. Showed that old man strength, I guess you might say. He was able to win the shootout with Jared Goff, put up huge numbers. He also had the Chicago Bears defense. And that was, I mean, if you're playing against the Bills offense, any defense is going to do great. But if you have the Chicago Bears defense, which is one of the best teams in the league already, it's just going to do even better. So let's get in and take a look at some of those highlights.
Crush a bit, little bit, roll it up, take a hit, feeling lit, feeling like 2 a.m. summer night. I don't care, hand on the wheel, driving drunk, I'm doing my thing, rolling the mid beside and out, living my life, getting our dreams. I'ma do just what I want, looking ahead, no turning back. People told me slow my roll, I'm screaming out, fuck that. I'm screaming out, fuck that. I'm screaming out, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all saw that I left that whole celebration at the end there by Michael Thomas, paying homage to Joe Horn, pulling out a cell phone from under the goalpost. Classic celebration. He got a flag, but whatever, it's cool. I heard a pretty funny thing. I guess a reporter asked who he called on the cell phone. He said he was trying to get a hold of Marcus Peters, but there was no coverage. So I thought that was pretty savage, as the kids say today. Pretty savage. Next matchup I want to talk about is a super close matchup. It was between Girly Man and the Smart Polacks. Mr. Brown's Girly Man team was only projected to win by 0.45 of a point, I think. Yeah, 0.45 of a point is what I got on here, and actually ends up that Smart Polacks won by 0.42 of a point. For Girly Man, Todd Gurley did not do his cheat code like usual. Didn't get over 30 points. I think he actually was shy of 20 points, which obviously played a role in Girly Man not winning this week. On the other side of the ball, Smart Polacks, you had Super Camario taking all his frustrations out on the other team over there on those Rams. And you also had James White, who had another big game. Great to watch those two players play. Let's go ahead and take a look, see what we got. Alright, Next up, Derek's Dandy team took on Keep Calm and Carry On. Unfortunately, Keep Calm and Carry On went back to his old ways of losing. It's an unfortunate thing. It happens. I've been doing it a lot. It's not fun. We need to fucking make a run, buddy. You and me both. Unfortunately, he didn't break 100 points this week. On the other hand, Derek's Dandy team had enough points to put up the biggest blowout of the week. That happens when you have Michael Thomas getting 200 yards and a touchdown. He also had the Dolphins defense. Dolphins defense put up a big day against the team that they played. Can't think of what that is right now. The Jets, that's what it was. Sam Darnold. Darnold Schwarzenegger, not looking like Donald Schwarzenegger so much anymore. But either way, Dolphins put up a huge game. And then also he had Showtime Patrick Mahomes. And he just did the same thing he's been doing all year. Looking like an MVP. And had a great game. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those highlights.
Bad snap again. Darnold corrals it, and he's picked off. On the return, it's Baker, and Baker scores. Expect to run out again. 4th and 15. Wake is coming. Darnold steps up, picked off. McDonald, and he slides down at the 50. Sets up the screen. 30. 20. Touchdown, Chiefs. Throwing end zone touchdown, Travis Kelce. End zone. Oh, what a throw.
Alright, and now we have Lights Kamara action matching up against Sourdough Dollar. That's Ranford team against Mr. Brooks's team. Pretty tough game, pretty tight game on this one. Not a big margin of error for either team. Actually came down to the Monday night game where Amari Cooper got a touchdown and allowed Ranford to pull away with the win. A couple big performances from Ranford's team. Like I said, Amari Cooper had the touchdown. He also had Josh Gordon on his team. Josh Gordon had a big game. And then James Conner has been just doing what he's been doing all year long, looking like a top 5 running back in the league, making sure that Le'Veon Bell is not really needed over there in Pittsburgh. Brooks had a pretty big game from Tevin Coleman. Been hoping for that all year long. Finally came through. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to pull out the win. So let's go ahead and look at some of the highlights from Ranford's team.
Well-designed play by offensive coordinator Randy Fichtner. Two guys were there.
Alright, and now we have a Lux Neckbeards. Lux Neckbeards rubbed up all up against those Birds Bears. And Birds Bears came out on bottom, unfortunately, again. Bird had another huge game from Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's been a beast all year long. It wasn't quite enough to overcome a huge game from Kareem Hunt. Another big game from Greg Olsen, and then a franchise record-setting game from the Minnesota defense. So let's go take a look.
They call the Browns field blitz from the opposite side, slid the line out in front, and he is dynamic when he gets out in space. Missed 2 tackles. He puts it in the end zone.
Walks and yards up the middle. Midfield to the 45.
They don't mind running the quarterback.
This is Hunt straight ahead for the touchdown. To Hunt. And Hunt dodging tacklers to the end zone for the touchdown. One-handed. It wasn't a sticky catch, but an unbelievable catch. That's the 34th time. Newton and Olsen.
You just get deep with that inside and a little screen set up here, but it looks like a miscommunication. Spell Griffin when he's out. Just a power rush by pushing Taylor. And watch this, he's just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And
second half. And that is a Minnesota franchise record 10.
All right, last and least, we have my team. Can't hide my chub going up against Car Ramrod. Mikey No Knees pulls off another victory, setting himself up for a playoff run. Possibly. We'll see what happens. And he puts me pretty much out of any kind of playoff picture, which is exciting. Super exciting. At least I'll have plenty of time to do these videos. For me, Julio Jones finally got a touchdown. So he had a huge game. Obviously, he was going to have a huge game as soon as he got that touchdown. But it wasn't quite enough. For Mikey No Knees, O.J. Howard got two of those. Got two of them touchdowns. And DeAndre Hopkins got one as usual. He got 10 receptions and over 100 yards as well. So big games from those guys. Let's go take a look.
On second, three, fake to Barton. Fitzpatrick to O.J. Howard for a Buccaneers score.
By Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nice catch. That was a miss. This might be fault number 31. He came in too far overcommitted and gave the over-the-top throw. You can see Adam Jones coming in from the side saying, you know, that's your ball. You cannot.
Alright, that is it for this week's episode of Excessive Phraseology. The Week 9 recap is all wrapped up. Appreciate you guys checking in. Hope to talk to you guys soon about some fantasy football, because that's all I really ever do when I'm at work. Alright, guys. I'll see y'all later. Adios! What's his face? Other... Okay, we are gonna... and I don't know what I'm talking about. And he had some other players making good times. What? Oh. And on the other side, you are on the other side, not on the other side, not on the other side. Fuck. And we need to make some hay, I guess they call it, back in the old days. Shit, man. Shit. Watch, they're great football players. Wow, I fucked it up right at the end. And blah blah blah. So his other big performance that I fucking talked about, but I can't remember. Alright. Alright. And now I don't know why I'm laughing. Next up, you got Lux Neckbeards going up against Beard blah, 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 and another player that I can't remember. Fuck. Take 37. Solid. Finally fucking made it through that one.